night was soccer. Everyone up their game.
Yeah.
Last night, teams came in with losing records, or Tolman came in at 2-2, so they're 3-2 now. We talked about it, as a springboard to their season, and whoever wins tonight is I think really going to ride the wave going into January 2025. The new ratings index for high school basketball, wanting to get into the top 16, which gets you into the playoffs. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to hit some of the local things beyond the holiday basketball tournament. But for those interested in the holiday basketball tournament championship game, will be tonight. Get to the gym by 7:30. We think the game starts at 7:45, but about 20-25 minutes after the consolation game.
Yep, consolation game's at 6, so if you get there to watch that, that's Woonsocket against Cumberland.
Great rivalry game there. So you're in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. We will be back right after these messages on WOON, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and WoodsocketRadio.com. We will be right back.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
Providing experienced, compassionate care when you need it. That describes North Smithfield and Lincoln Urgent Care Centers. Their mission is to make you feel safe and reassured about the nature and severity of minor illnesses like lacerations, sprains, ear and sinus infections, stomach and back discomfort, and more. Both facilities have X-ray and lab facilities on premises. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, 768-3400. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 8 and Saturday 9 to 5. And Lincoln Urgent Care, across from Lincoln Mall, 333-9595. Open weekdays 9 to 9, Saturday and Sunday 9 to 5.
Hi folks, this is Tom Marshall, founder of Marshall Building and Remodeling. When it comes to choosing a roofing, siding, or window company for your home, you need to protect yourself from inexperience, unfair prices, and shoddy work. The best way to do that is to call Marshall. We'll give you honest advice and a fair price. Then you decide. With Marshall, there's no money down, great warranties, and the best work and service available, period. Make your home beautiful with Marshall. Visit us at marshallbr.com, and remember, we are your local roofing, siding, and window people.
Appreciate your customers, then give them the best job possible. That's been their motto at Michaud's Auto Body since 1948. They have continually invested in the newest and best frame unibody equipment available, as well as color-matching techniques. Michaud's Auto Body is a certified Class A facility where all collision repairs are 100% guaranteed. Michaud's Auto Body at 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
Okay, well, welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. I'm Kevin Callahan, joined as always by Pat Holland, and we are back. All right.
That's one way to do it, Pat.
It's better.
Okay, so
You get the colors.
we cover. Pat's always supporting USA, Dave. You know that. So we think everything on the YouTube side. It's all good. We're back. And all right, so we covered the basketball tournament, high school basketball. We'll talk about that near the end of the show as well. The breaking news, Corbin Burns. But as always, we'd like to do a lot of the local things of what's going on in Rhode Island, nearby Massachusetts. So I'll just jump right into it, Pat. College hockey. Hockey East doing very well for themselves this year. 5 teams are ranked. And not just ranked in the top 20, top 13. Number 13, Boston University. Number 10, UMass Lowell. Number 7, Providence College. Number 4, Maine. And number 2, Boston College, knocking on the door to break into the top 20. UNH, UMass, Amherst. These teams all doing really well. Hockey East is really, back on top. When you compare Hockey East to the Big East, in basketball, Hockey East is, Big East is a little bit down right now.
Right.
But Hockey East is doing really well for themselves. They had a couple down years as far as numbers being in the top. You really want to be in the top 13 to kind of like get into the tournament, top 12. at the tournament at the end of the year. And Hockey East is just looking really good. Real exciting time. If you're not a college hockey fan, but you like hockey, go check it out. There's some great games. And just because teams aren't in the top 20 does not mean that they're not good either. I mean, look at Merrimack a couple of years ago. They went to I don't think they won at all. I think they went to the finals though.
Because they won the Hockey East, so they got the automatic bid
right
that year.
Exactly. So so Hockey East, 5 teams in the top 13. In Boston College is also getting votes for number 1, and I think Maine even got a vote as well. In the U.S. College Hockey Online Forum. So
I haven't looked, but I think it's Michigan State.
Michigan State number 1. Yeah, I kind of skipped over.
Yeah,
I just went straight to Hockey East because of my snobbery.
Right. So PC, they get back into action this afternoon when they face Northeastern at 4 o'clock in Hanover, New Hampshire. Tomorrow they'll face the winner of the Alaska Anchorage versus Dartmouth game.
Or the loser if they lose.
Right. After that, they are off till January 7th when they face off against Brown at Meehan Auditorium on the campus of Brown University.
Yeah, and I'm going to, speaking of Brown hockey, I'll skip one down. Brown hockey gets back into action tomorrow. They have, because they started so late, ECAC, Ivy League. So Brown hockey gets back into action tomorrow. They're hosting Long Island University at 2. And then Brown also has home games next Friday versus Union, next Saturday also at home versus RPI before they host Providence on Tuesday the 7th. So PC's been off for 3 weeks. They get back into it this weekend. Welcome back to hockey. Then they have a little bit more time off before they play Brown on January 7th. Brown in the ECAC. They have to make up their games.
Yep.
that they
and
missed.
Jumping over to college basketball, PC basketball gets back into action New Year's Eve at the AMP with a game against Marquette at 6 o'clock. Hoping that Bryce Hopkins can get back into action as they'll need him if they're thinking about going on to a huge run and making it to the NCAA tournament this year.
I mean, the in my opinion, the good and bad with Providence College right now, they're 7-6. That's obviously bad. The Big East is down, also bad, but it's also an opportunity now. PC's down as well, 7-6. Maybe with the Big East being down, obviously they're going to send, some years they send 4, some they send 5. Maybe they only send 2 or 3 this year to the tournament. So they got a chance, to make a run. UConn has worked their way back. I think last I checked, they're back to like 13 or 12,
right?
Maybe even 10. They were 2. They dropped all the way to 25. Now they're working their way back up. But PC, big game New Year's Eve again against Marquette. They got to start winning these games. Brown basketball lost big to Kansas as expected last week, but the final score was 87-53. However, the score was with 2:11 to go in the first half. The score was 36-31. Kansas went on a little 6-0 run to close out the half, 42-31. Things don't get any easier for Brown. They travel to number 10 Kentucky on New Year's for a 2 o'clock game. The only thing that's a little bit easier for Brown is that last week when we reported this game, Kentucky was number 4.
Yeah.
Now they're number 10. So that means they lost to somebody along the way. So I don't envision good things happening for Brown in Kentucky. But, hang close, get some confidence out of that game. They return home for what I call a tune-up game. They're playing Johnson and Wales on January 5th. Like, I don't know how you go from Kentucky and Kansas to home against Johnson and Wales, but okay, I'm assuming they're going to win, 90-30 against JWU. And then Ivy League Conference begins for them on Saturday, January 11th at Yale. And then the Ivy, as we know, gets an automatic bid. Oh, I got to do another mea culpa here. I was completely wrong. Once again, this was a bigger one, though. This isn't just a Castellanos issue.
I did know, and I should have corrected you, but I did. But it's fine.
I was all excited that the Ivy League was going to get an automatic bid into the college playoffs last week. I'm very excited.
Which they are.
And it is true.
Just the wrong playoffs.
It's the wrong playoffs. It's the FCS, not the FBS. I wish they go back to 1A and 1AA. I understood that. FCS is your Bryants and your URIs of the world and UNHs. Great for the Ivy. Still can compete in those playoffs. Go off, win the FCS or the 1AA championship. I erroneously reported and misinterpreted that they had the right to go to the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the big bowls to go, into the FBS playoff system. They do not.
Which is probably a good thing for them.
It's
I'm
probably
like-
a good thing, but Vermont basketball always makes a little run in the basketball tournament. Vermont soccer just
Yeah.
won the
Different
won the
sports,
whole
though.
thing.
Different
I get
sports.
it, but let them
You know,
hey,
There's a reason why, like the Princetons of the world have success at the NCAA, tournament because
Yeah.
it's a system that nobody runs.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if they still run it, but back in the day, they used to run
Princeton.
that.
Oh yeah.
So in the Vermont ran a similar
Yeah.
system, and so yeah.
Hey, I was at the game that Princeton almost upset Alonzo Mourning in Georgetown. That would have been the first 16 over number 1. It has since been done, but that was back. Oh boy, late 80s, early 90s. It was at the Providence Civic Center at the time. I just remember that because I was at Rhode Island College, and Georgetown used to practice at Rick before they would play their games at the Civic Center at the time. But okay, well, good luck to Brown as they travel to Kentucky later on this week.
And then over Bryant up in Smithfield, they next play Monday at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona, after which they will return home to play Maine next Saturday at 2 o'clock. And then URI begins their A-10 conference play New Year's Eve at 2 o'clock against Duquesne.
Yeah, it should be noted that URI is still 11-1. They're only lost to Brown at the completion of the tournament that we won't talk about anymore.
Yes, it's been covered.
College football bowl games of local interest today. Boston College 7-5, going against Nebraska 6-6. Meet up at the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium at noon today, and then over at Fenway Park for the Musabi Bowl at Fenway Park. University of North Carolina 6-6. Bill Belichick will reportedly be in the house at Fenway. We'll meet up with UConn. UConn 8-4. And again, this is another mea culpa on my part. I just assumed that they would not be selling good tickets without Boston College being there. I didn't think they'd sell many. My son, who works over at Fenway Park, has told me that the advance sale on these tickets is the highest they've ever had. I don't know if it's all Bill Belichick related. I don't know if it's UConn getting a good audience, UNC.
My guess would be it's probably UConn.
Yeah.
UConn, I mean,
it's a close enough
generally
ride.
speaking, their alumni will go and watch any of their.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say any, but at least basketball and football, they're going to get a good draw. And North Carolina is probably, hey, let's go up to it's a good trip.
There's renewed interest in the North Carolina program.
Get the boosters.
Exactly.
Coming.
Get the boosters. And now that game on shortly after our show ends starts at 11 o'clock bowl game from Fenway Park. I'm not sure what channel, probably one of the ESPNs anyway. We'll have that game. So same thing with the Boston College game. Just check your local listings, as they say.
That's right. And then Providence Bruins, they played last night down in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Forward Riley Tufte tallied 2 goals and an assist, while Fabian Lysell potted a goal, and he also added 2 assists to push the Providence Bruins over the Bridgeport Islanders 4-1. At Total Mortgage Arena, John Farinacci recorded 3 assists, and Tyler Pitlick found the back of the net as well. Goaltender Michael DiPietro stopped 31 shots in the victory. They will play again today in Hartford against the Wolfpack at the XL Center at 6 p.m. tonight.
DiPietro seems to be the Friday night goaltender. Bussy is, I think, the Saturday night goal, because it seems like every time we report on the Providence Bruins, it's goaltender Michael DiPietro in that. We should do it, maybe today if we have some time, but if not in the future, see who's really doing well for the Providence Bruins statistically, to see, who could make the jump up to Boston, to see, give them some help, because the Boston Bruins coming off a 3-day break. I don't know what it is about the Columbus Blue Jackets. They cost Jim Montgomery his job with a 5-1 loss about 4 weeks ago, 6-2, coming off a 3-day break. I didn't get to see the game. You and I were doing the basketball game. Did read about it this morning, and basically the first paragraph of the article I read it looked like the Bruins were still on break. Yeah. They did not get their first shot until after the first TV timeout, which is generally around the 12-13 minute mark or 8 minutes into the first period. Then they took a dumb penalty, and then they gave up a power play goal. I mean,
3 power play goals last night Obviously, that's not a good thing, especially
Right.
if you're not, So 6'2". Yeah, I didn't see if there was I would imagine there wasn't an empty net goal.
Probably not. No.
And I didn't even see if I know Corposalo got the start. I didn't see if Swayman came in or not. I would imagine he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Just
so-
reading up on the game, I was surprised Corposalo got the start though after a 3-day break.
Just something to note. I read this last night. The Montreal Canadiens are expected to put their young goaltender Primo, who's a Northeastern alum, on waivers to try to send him down. Be interesting to see if somebody picks him up. And even the Bruins, like he's a kid he's a high draft pick, and they're just trying to sneak him down. I would take a flyer on him and grab him if he's in waivers.
Well, and you know who might actually, believe it or not, take a shot on him, and it might not be the Bruins.
Right.
It might be the Ottawa Senators. I saw the headline, didn't have time to look into it. Linus Ullmark, he's hurt. He's got a bad back.
Imagine that.
So he was 7-0 in his last 7 with a couple shutouts, goals against average under 1. When we go to break, I'm going to look up to see how long he's out for. But Ottawa might be in the need of a goaltender right now, and they may take a chance on him. Like you mentioned, he's a high draft pick.
Yeah.
Northeastern playing in Hockey East. We just spoke highly of Hockey East, so it's a competitive. Do you know much about I can't even think who the goalie is in Montreal right now.
They have the other kid, Montembeau.
Okay.
He was another high draft. Several high draft pick goalies that, for whatever reason, haven't really panned out. I don't necessarily think it's their fault or if it's they haven't fully developed their back end either.
And the Canadians have struggled. I'm surprised. They must think they have somebody in the system anyway, or they're just soured on him. So we're going to take a quick break, but we like to hear from you. If you have any thoughts on the breaking news of Corbin Burns not signing with the Red Sox, or as Marty Crowley said, his Baltimore Orioles, every free agent are rejecting Canada, and the Toronto Blue Jays signing with the Arizona Diamondbacks. You have thoughts on that? Other free agent signings. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Red Sox when we come back. We're also going to get into a little bit more hockey talk as well. In the World Junior Tournament has begun, and some more Boston Bruins talk as well. If you have some thoughts on that or any other topics, feel free to give us a call, 401-766-1240. We'll be back right after this on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com.
ON 1240. Woonsocket Door Sales, a fourth-generation family business, has served Southern New England since 1935. They can handle all types of projects from the simpler residential installations to more complex commercial projects, always concerned with infrastructure and framework for the perfect fit. They even install doors for fire stations and medical facilities. Installation and repair. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. They'll remove and dispose the old doors. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. They can diagnose and repair just about anything at State Line Service. From tires and alignments and front-end work on all makes of cars and trucks up to 1 ton to smaller items like brakes, starters, struts, exhausts, radiators, timing belts, and high-speed balance. State Line Service is a third-generation family-owned business, up to date with the latest technology. They believe in clear, honest communication with their clients. No double talk, no pressure. State Line Service, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line. State Line Service.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Before we do our deep dive into Linus Ullmark, which we do have an update on him, we do have a caller on hold, so let's go to our caller. Hello, is the caller there?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? It's Greg from Connecticut.
Greg from Connecticut. How's it going, Greg? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I love the show. Glad to tune in and listen to you guys again.
Oh,
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. What's on your mind this week,
so
Greg?
Today is a very special baseball day. I wonder if you know what special baseball day today is.
December 28th is today like the halfway point between the World Series ending and spring training starting?
I'm impressed, Kevin. Today is the baseball solstice. The exact halfway date between the end of the World Series and first day of spring training.
All right.
I thought it was going to get you on that.
There's no stumping this. Come on, Greg. There's no stumping this guy.
I guess so. That's why you guys are the pros.
Well, yeah, there's a horseshoe around here, Greg. I think I just found it. I think I lucked out into that one because I've never heard of that day before, and I just I don't know how I pulled that one out, but Greg, we've talked, some Jets and some other thing. I can't remember. Are you a baseball fan?
I am a baseball fan. I grew up a Red Sox fan. It's a sad story because I moved kind of close to the New York area, and my two kids grew up as Yankees fans. So I'm watching like Derek Jeter every night with my kids.
Okay. Well, at least he's respectful, respected by even Red Sox fans as well. So, I mean, do you follow the free agent stuff? We talked about Corbin Burns earlier. Did you follow that enough in the hopes that the Red Sox wanted the Red Sox to sign him, or not really bothered?
No, definitely. And that's what I like about your show is I'm from Connecticut, but I tune in on your show, so I get a lot of Boston sports, and I hear about Red Sox stuff that I don't hear about down living near New York. So
right,
yeah, the Red Sox need all the help they can get.
Yeah, and they had the good signing of Walker Buehler and Sandoval, but that's still a half a year away before it seems.
The Red Sox are cornering the market on every pitcher that's coming off of Tommy John surgery. In hoping, it's like if you throw spaghetti against the wall, a piece is going to stick.
Yeah,
right?
If they're coming off Tommy John surgery, the Red Sox are grabbing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This other kid they just grabbed from Minnesota.
Yeah,
he's coming off of Tommy John
surgery as well. So, and one last question I have to ask you, Greg. Aaron Rodgers playing this weekend?
They have football this weekend? I don't remember. I thought the season was over. What are you talking about? I don't know. I hope not. I'd love to see somebody else. Anybody else?
Yeah, I don't know if the Jets even have anybody in there. I don't know who their backup is, and I don't know if they are looking at that guy as their potential future to Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see him coming back to the Jets next year at all. I feel the same way. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the Patriots yet, and they're playing the Chargers. It was actually a huge game for the Chargers today at 1:00. And the Pats are just trying to hold on to local interest around here.
The New York Jets backup is Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, the former Buffalo Bill, Tyrod Taylor.
An Oakland Raider who got his lung punctured.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
was that Tyrod too?
And the coach was like, "You're good. You're good."
So I don't know if that's your answer, Tyrod Taylor. So.
Yeah, no thanks. A good quarterback who's too old for a mediocre quarterback who's mediocre.
Getting old.
Right. Just run the Wildcat.
Yeah, just run the Wildcat. So, all right, Greg, we do have another call on the line. Thank you very much for the call. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Great talking to you guys.
And thank you. And continue to call in. Much appreciated. Greg from Connecticut, everybody. Let's go to our next call. Hello, you're on the air. Hello? Let's do that. Oh, I think I just hung up on the call. If the caller could please call back, hit the wrong button there.
No, that's fine.
I think it was Moose, so hopefully Moose calls back. I'm sure he's got some baseball thoughts. I'd like to hear from Moose on the baseball thoughts there as well. What? I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about before?
We were talking about baseball, right? So some of the most recent Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees signs with the Detroit Tigers yesterday as well.
Hello, you're on the air.
There you go. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Moose. Sorry, switching from one call to another.
Good morning, Pat.
Hey, Moose, how are you?
I'm fine. Hope you guys had a very nice Christmas.
Very nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. All right, now, this is very important. This was a setup, right, between Greg and you about guessing the halfway point. with the
No,
Jets.
it really wasn't, Moose.
I don't believe it.
Truly, I did not know. I just looked at the calendar, and we had baseball on the on the docket today, and like, hey, spring training's right around the corner. Well, I thought it was. I'm always looking forward to spring training anyway.
We've got that in a million years.
I didn't know it was called
You know what today is?
I didn't know they called it the baseball solstice, but I'm like, hey, we're almost at spring training. I didn't know it was halfway, but
Hey, go to the track.
yeah,
I know.
No, I'm not a good gambler. I lose fake bets. I'm buying real bets. So.
Look, Aaron Rodgers. You know what? I get different outlooks on that. I think he's going to play, but even if he's say 90%, you better play. You're getting paid to play. The fans want to see you, not a backup quarterback. And I'm not a Jet fan, but that's not the point. The point is this: they paid the tickets themselves. They spent a lot of money, and they're looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers. That's the way it is. So you're getting paid all these millions and millions of dollars.
And
get your butt out on the field.
And Moose, actually, believe it or not, I do agree with you. What I didn't know, and I think I worded it poorly to Greg, I didn't know if the Jets had a quarterback that they were kind of counting on in their future. Because Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old, figuring, even if he was successful this year, figuring that he wouldn't be around in 2 or 3 years if they were trying to groom another quarterback. When Pat said it was Tyrod Taylor, I'm like, oh, no, okay. Yeah.
Tyrod.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I agree. Rodgers should play. I just didn't know if they had.
How long's his contract for, Kevin? What's his contract?
Oh, boy. We'll have to look that up.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah, it is quite a bit.
How many years? In multi-year, right?
Well,
multi-year?
With the NFL, they're not guaranteed contracts like in the other sports anyway. So it's
He signed a 3-year, $112.5 million.
You get your tail out there.
Yeah.
And this is year 2, so he's 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah. First year he didn't play because of his injury. This is year 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can buy him out. I just can't see him coming back to the Jets next year. And as bad as the Patriots have been this year, I'm glad. I'd rather be a Pats fan than a Jets fan because at the very least we got a quarterback.
Just that you guys brought it up. I can't stand the Jets.
Right.
I don't like anybody in the AFC except for the Pats. No one.
Right.
And you heard it first about. I heard that about Corbin Burns this morning at 5:30 a.m. I woke up.
Yeah.
I put on Sports Center and bang, there it was.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I I flipped on the computer probably around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier, and I went and I Googled Corbin Burns just to see if what I was reading was wrong, if it was like just someone throwing it out there to see if it would stick, and then saw that it was substantiated by Yahoo Sports, Athlon Sports, CBS News, and I'm like, oh no, it's legit. I was very disappointed.
You did get the email, correct?
Oh yeah, then I got your email. Yeah, so it's but by then I'd already sent off to Pat. I want to lead with Corbin Burns, because that's the guy I've been talking up since August or September anyway.
Oh yeah, you were relying, you're kind of hoping that they would sign with us. Kind of busted your bubble a bit.
Yeah, and I like the Walker Buehler signing. Again, coming off of Tommy John surgery 2 years ago, like every other pitcher on the Red Sox. I'm not as high as a lot of other people.
About us cornering all these Tommy John pitchers.
Yeah, it's
somebody's bound to work out.
Yeah, exactly. My big concern with Walker Buehler is if you look at his regular season numbers since coming back from Tommy John surgery, they're not great. They're not stellar.
They're not great. No.
Where Walker
Buehler happened to be
Buehler,
good in the playoffs with the Dodgers.
right, and that's where you want to be good. He was stellar in the World Series, which is great. There's no bigger stage, than the World Series. But you still got to get there. And I hope what that means is, as he's coming back from his the Tommy John surgery, he's continuing to get better, and that will roll into next season, into the regular season.
Another question mark pitcher we're picking up.
It is a question. It is a question mark. I think it's a.
We got a lot of those.
Yeah. So it's a. But when you start to look at the Sox roster, I think it is starting to fall into place because they do have like 6 or 7.
You're right. It's starting to look a bit better.
Right.
They still got a lot of work to do, as Greg from Connecticut mentioned.
I still think they're in on Bregman.
Yeah. All right, guys. Listen, I've taken up your time. I'm sure you come up on a break here.
Yep.
But the up and down Bruins are down. Boy, they look
I know.
awful last night.
They just can't play the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know what's going on with
They
that.
look awful. They were terrible.
I was happy to miss the game. Pat and I were doing a high school basketball game here at ON and missed the game, and then I saw the score, and then I didn't want to watch.
I mean, the second period is absolutely putrid. And Columbus looked like
the
a
Gretzky Oilers.
perennial Stanley Cup playoff contender.
Yeah, and they got the same record as the Bruins, if not a little bit worse.
It is worse.
It is. I don't know what it is. They got another shot with the Blue Jackets tonight. Again,
Yeah.
so they have to play better.
All right, guys.
All right, Happy New Year, Moose.
Like your comments, and hopefully we'll call you next week.
All right,
Bye-bye.
sounds good. Have a Happy New Year.
You too.
The mighty Moose, moosing with us as always.
That's right.
Calling in, and yeah, I am feeling better about the Sox roster overall. You know, your Tanner Houck, last year's #1 pitcher. That type of pressure isn't on him now, as they kind of pop him down to the number probably 3 spot in the rotation. Then you got Crawford, Criswell, as I'm looking at their roster
Phipps.
now. Phipps. So one of those guys
He did pitch well when he came in and started pitching towards the end of the season.
Right, exactly. So, and then one of those guys, if not all of them, will be in the rotation. Garrett Whitlock and Josh Winkowski. So that's 7 potential starters. So you got to figure right off the bat, 1 or 2 of them are going to be in the bullpen. They needed bullpen help. And you mentioned Sandoval halfway through the year, because there'll be another injury. Somebody else will probably be requiring Tommy John surgery coming out of
And
the
then they
Red
got
Sox.
Chapman.
But then you
as a
get
closer.
Chapman, Liam Hendricks is back, and do we still have Red Sox?
Giolito.
Giolito.
Yeah, he's there. So, yeah.
So it's
Coming off
looking
of Tommy John
Coming
surgery.
off Tommy John. So looking better. Right now, one of my biggest question marks, and this is me. I'm still not sold on Connor Wong as your everyday catcher. They got Carlos Navarez. I'm sure they'll be splitting time, maybe not evenly. Wong, career year last year. I hope he does it again, because I'm actually happy with the rest of the team. I still wouldn't mind making a trip. I still like the Alex Bregman rumors of him coming to Boston. It seems like it's out there. I would love to see that. I'm okay with moving him around the infield if you have to. If you're not trading Casas, get Devers at third, or move him to first. Casas to D, whatever they got to do. But I would love to see Bregman come in, and Nolan Arenado's still out there too, and he's a Gold Glove third baseman.
Yeah.
Third base was a hole. I mean, defensively.
Yeah, but his bats, I mean, his offensive stats are declining
they have.
year over year. So,
Right.
I mean, I guess if you're just looking for a stopgap at third,
Right,
from a
defensively.
defensive standpoint, which, I mean, they need to get better defensively. They were one of the worst teams in the MLB last
So it's
year.
like, Gleyber Torres just
Yeah.
signed with Detroit, leaving the Yankees, and you're reading up on him. He had 18 errors last year at second base. So, because my first thought was like, I wonder why the Sox weren't in on him, and then 18 errors, and got a decent second half.
Have the Yankees gotten better?
Yeah. So,
I guess, yeah.
So-
I mean, you bring in Bellinger, and you bring in is it Goldschmidt?
Paul Goldschmidt for the Yankees, yeah. After not getting Soto, they bring in Bellinger, and Paul Goldschmidt's a good player. No Juan Soto. He's a very good player as well.
Yeah,
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, some World Junior Hockey talk. That tournament started 2 days ago, continuing through January 5th. I think is the gold and bronze medal games. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about that, maybe some hockey talk. But if you have some thoughts on the Red Sox or anything else, feel free to give us a call. 401-766-1240. We'll be right back on WOON, AM and FM after this.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Invista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied. Looking to beautify your property this fall? Look to A.J. Moran for stonework patios, steps, walkways, plus retaining walls. Looking to beautify your home this fall? A.J. Moran can put veneer stone right on your house to have beautiful looking stone. And if that's not what you want, A.J. Moran can rebuild indoor fireplaces with veneer stone. It's real natural stone. Check out what they can do online, ajmoraninc.com. A.J. Moran.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them, Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And this week's special at Michael's Meats, baby back pork spare ribs for just $3.99 a pound. Michael's Meats, place your New Year's holiday order. They are closed on New Year's Day, but you can get your New Year's order in prior to New Year's normal hours, Monday and Tuesday at Michael's Meats. Welcome back. You are in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. And Pat, let's just jump right into it. Our favorite tournament of the year. We didn't even realize we were both watching it for years, and a few other of our hockey friends have been watching it as well. The World Junior Tournament. We talked about it briefly last week on the show. Basically, it's the best 20-year-olds and younger in the world playing. It's as amateur as you can get. There are some professionals from like the AHL, the Swedish Elite League, the KHL maybe. You get the occasional NHL player that's on the bubble. I think Matthew Potras last year with Boston, they sent him to Canada at the time, and now he's in Providence. They couldn't send him to Providence at the time.
Pasternak played for Czech when he was his first year.
Right. Exactly.
Actually, I think he got hurt too during that tournament. Same as he got hurt over there.
So basically, in the way it's set up this year, in Group A, you got Canada, United States, Finland, Latvia, and Germany. Group B, you got Sweden, Czechia, Slovakia, Switzerland, and Kazakhstan. The real kind of neat thing about it is 8 of the 10 teams make the playoffs. The number 9 and 10 basically are fighting for their World Junior lives. They will play a 9-10 game. The losing team gets relegated out, and they'll have to earn their way back in. Across the pond, you have, Pat, you can describe this better. A Group B, Group C, Group D playing hockey.
Yeah, at least three other groups of countries that all play, and the top ones move up. It's just similar to European soccer.
Okay.
British, if you think of the Premier League, where there are several different tiers. You have the top tier is a Premier League, and then the next tier is like the Championship League. Then there's League One, League Two, and the winners of each division will move up, and then the bottom 2 or 3 get relegated down, and they just every year that's how it happens. So
you get a team, and I'm just I haven't even looked at the full standings yet, but I'm gonna make the giant leap that a team like Kazakhstan might not make the playoffs. And that we'll be playing I would have thought maybe Latvia, but Latvia didn't pull off the upset, right, against Canada yesterday. So Latvia beat Canada in a shootout last night. So they won't get relegated. So, but you lose a game, you get relegated out. They'll bring in a new team, and I think it's Sweden, United States, and Canada. The only 3 teams that have been in every single tournament from the beginning of this junior tournament, which has probably been going on about
probably Russia too, but they're not eligible.
They're not eligible, so they missed their opportunity.
Yeah.
My understanding with Russia is that they're holding a spot for them in the 2026 Olympics. Should political things simmer down or whatever the Olympic Committee, how they want to do it, they're holding a spot if not another team, another country, gets through some sort of tournament, probably in 2025, because I would assume they have to make
World
a decision
Championships.
soon.
The World Championships that are held in the late spring, April, May, or actually probably May into June, dictate the Olympics.
Right.
In the similar format. There are other divisions below that they move up and down, and
so they'll probably get one of those teams, into the Olympics. But today's scheduled just 2 games today: Czechia against Kazakhstan at 1:00. But USA is playing Latvia today at 3:30, and hopefully they had last night off. Hopefully they were watching the Canadian game, Canada against Latvia, just to see. And looking at the box score, Latvia scored 2 goals in the third period to force the overtime, and then the shootout, winning the shootout. Ultimately winning 3-2, and a real cool scoring system. I would like to see the NHL adopt this scoring system, Pat. I don't know how you feel about it, because you could go back and alter the records in the NHL to make the adjustment. I think it's easy enough. You get 3 points for a win, regulation win, 3-period win. If you win in overtime or a shootout, you get 2 points. If you force overtime, you get an automatic point. And if you don't win the overtime of the shootout, you just get stuck with 1 point. And then if you lose in regulation, you get 0 points. So it really forces you. You're watching a NHL game, and you see a team might sit back for the final 35 seconds of the game. Say, you know what? Let's go to 3-on-3 overtime and go from there. There's no punishment. Well, now in international hockey, and even now in the professional women's league, you get 3 points to the victory. Your thoughts, NHL?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think it makes a little bit more sense to have that scoring system, if you will.
Yeah.
Right, 3-2-1. But
I think it makes a regular.
It gives a little bit of value to a game.
More value to a regulation-sized game. So, so the standings right now in the junior tournament. So again, you're getting the best of the best. Technically, Canada is in first with 4 points because they played 2 games. The United States with a win over Germany the other day, 10-4, sits in second with 3 points. But again, they've only played 1 game. Finland through 2 games has 3 points. Latvia with 2 points. Germany, they have lost 2, so Germany could be in danger of playing in the relegation game. Over in Group B, Sweden 2-0 with 6 points, 2 regulation wins. Czechia just 1 game. They won their game, and so they have 3 points. Slovakia 2 games is 1-1 with 3 points. Switzerland 2 games has not won a game, and Kazakhstan has not won a game as well. So win a game, and you're almost in the playoffs.
Essentially,
you're not playing in the relegation round. But it's, I just can't speak highly enough of this tournament. It's on the NHL network.
It's a great tournament. All the top young players in the world. Most of these players have been drafted or are draft eligible this year. And we went through this again, as most people probably know. We do a podcast usually midweek, not every week, but we did do a deep dive into this Thursday morning preview of the tournament, which started Thursday. That a lot of these younger kids are playing over in the U.S., either juniors, college, or up in Canada in the major junior.
The 3 major junior leagues up there, what they call the W, the O, WHL, OHL, and the Quebec major junior.
15, 20 years ago, it wasn't the case. Most of these kids stayed in their countries and played, or they played in the professional leagues over in Europe, and they weren't coming over to the U.S. But now it's a lot of these players are coming over and playing in the North American hockey, if you will, because it is a different style of hockey than the European style.
Right.
A little bit smaller rinks for the most part. But
especially with this tournament taking place in Ottawa, they're playing over on the Ottawa Senators rink plus another rink nearby, and they're playing on the 200 by 85 rink, whereas the international rink, or UNH even, will play on the 200 by 100 rink. So the smaller rink allows for a little bit more physical play. The extra 15 feet doesn't sound like a lot, but it opens the game up wider, bigger ice surfaces. You'll hear people say the NHL should go to that. Maybe if they build new ice rinks, they will. But they're not going to take out the most expensive seats in the TD Garden to make a wider ice surface. Those are the primo seats.
Yeah. So just to touch on it a little bit, we did touch upon it, but the U.S. These games are all on the NHL Network. If you get a chance to watch it, the U.S. have probably the most dynamic first line.
It's Boston College.
They're all Boston College players. You have Gabe Perreault, James Haggins, he's draft eligible this year. And then the other kid is Ryan Leonard, he's from Amherst, Mass. These guys are prolific. I think they scored a bunch against Germany. So they're great to watch. They also have Cole Eiserman, who's also a Mass native. He's over at BU. So just great hockey.
Yeah, you have Hockey East represented. You have three guys from Massachusetts on Team USA as well. So if you get the chance, USA plays today at 3:30. There's four games tomorrow as well. The New Year's Eve is because of the quirk of scheduling again this year. USA Canada 8 o'clock New Year's Eve is like the traditional game that they try to pit those teams together. That game will for sure be sold out. We mentioned it during the basketball game briefly last night. Just a little bit of a sad note that came across. Greg Gumbel. Many people associate him with the NFL and NCAA March Madness. And younger brother Brian Gumbel passed away yesterday at age 78 from cancer. So that was very sad. He called, you would remind me, he called the Tuck Rule game.
Yeah, the snowball game, which was the 2001 AFC North championship game?
It wasn't the AFC championship. It was
it was like division.
It was just a division championship game
against the
Raiders because the Patriots went on to play Pittsburgh.
Yep.
After that, with the winner going to the Super Bowl, but Greg Gumbel had that call, synonymous with
March
Madness, and big loss to the sporting and the broadcasting world. What a famous family, Brian Gumbel and Greg Gumbel.
Yeah.
I mean, really carving out a niche for himself. 50 years in broadcasting, Greg Gumbel. So big loss there, sad to say. So, we're going to wrap things up here from the cheap seats, but we invite you all tonight. WOON, Pat and I will be covering the championship game of the Holiday Classic, 51st Annual Holiday Classic, Tolman against Lincoln. It should be an absolute great game. Two teams play a very fast offense, a 5-out offense, run and gun, a lot of motion, a lot of fast transition, and man-to-man stellar defense on both sides. Very aggressive. Referees were letting them play last night. Nobody was even really close to fouling out. I think somebody did get the 4 fouls, but that was late in the game. So great opportunity. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. You can watch it on WOON's website, OneSoccerRadio.com. You can listen on OneSoccerRadio.com. You can listen traditionally, 99.5 FM and 1240 AM. So tune in tonight for the championship game, which will take place about 20 minutes after the consolation game. And Pat and I will have that call for you as well tonight. Pat, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
To you. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Thank you for joining us in the cheap seats, and we hope you have a tremendous weekend.
Broadcast